Do you know that 3 out of 4 people suffer from some or the other chronic disease like diabetes, blood pressure, heart disease, arthritis, cancer, hypothyroidism, obesity? Are you also aware that all of these can be completely cured and also prevented by just changing the type of food that we consume? So, let me tell you about our new life transformation program. We start this preview by looking at my own life history. So, I was pretty much healthy. I wasn't overweight, but I had some issues. So, this is me in 2005 and 2006 in Chicago. And you can see that there is a bit of swelling over the face. Otherwise, I seem to be pretty well. Then this is same myself training in Chicago in the cancer department and basically going around the shopping neighborhood. But then I had a major heart issue where we had a triple vessel angioplasty had to be done. My blood, cholesterol and lipids were completely out of whack. My sleep continued to be disturbed. I had chronic acid peptic disease for the past like maybe 30 years, and this facial swelling was always a problem. And as you can see in 2007, even after undergoing the heart treatment, the facial swelling was still there, and most of my colleague doctors could not find any reason or cause for this. 2012, almost the same appearance. 2014. So in 2016, I went through a diet transformation program. And through this 3-month program, there was a measurable change which happened and life changed for the better. I lost 5 kilograms of weight. My acidity completely disappeared. My sleep became better. Energy levels improved and the facial swelling magically disappeared. And this is me in 2020. Again 2020, another photograph with a junior colleague who is 25 years my junior. So this is the difference between 2014 and 2020, and this is me in 2022. So work in progress, but I would think good progress. So let us talk about death then and now. If you were to talk about your grandparents and maybe your great grandparents, we used to ask how did they die? And most of us will get the reply that they died of old age. उनकी उम्र हो गई थी इसीलिए वो चले गए. So that was death then. Now if you ask anybody in your generation or just the generation before you, how did they die? And you get all these answers. Heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, kidney disease, so many other causes of death. So what has changed? So your quality of life has improved. But so what has changed? So earlier, our great grandparents and parents and great grandparents used to have a good quality of life till the end. But now we are struck by chronic debilitating diseases at early ages. So we need to change. Why do we need to change? Because we need to have a better quality of life. We want to feel how it feels to be energetic. And then we want to lead by example. If we want the generations coming after us to be healthy, we have to show them how to live a healthy life. The food industry is interesting. It wants you to eat more and more, but it wants you to be undernourished. because if you are undernourished, you will overeat. So it feeds you junk food. Think about the way they put free bread in the restaurant, mostly in the West, right in the middle of the table before the meal. Because the wheat from the bread slows the digestion, you don't feel nourished, and you order the dessert. So let me tell you a little bit about wheat, since we are on the topic of wheat. Wheat was discovered maybe about 15,000 years back when prehistoric man found these grasses growing all over the place, and then they found that they could grind their seeds and keep them for food. The wheat at that time was known as einkorn wheat, which had 14 chromosomes, but it slowly changed its structure by mating with other grasses. And then we knew the emmer wheat, which was 28 chromosomes in the era of Christ. And then it was finally evolved into spelt wheat, which had 42 chromosomes. Now, this was the way wheat was till the 1960s. However, in the 1960s, there was a big drought all over the world, famine, and people did not have enough food to eat. To solve this problem, a scientist by the name of Norman Borlaug started a lot of experiments in Mexico, and this is this gentleman standing right in the middle. And you can see here that the wheat crop there was shoulder height. So he did a lot of genetic experiments to modify that wheat crop, and he introduced a lot of mutations into the wheat and succeeded in generating a wheat which was amazing. It had a 15 times more per acre yield. The seed heads became big and the crop became completely short. And he solved the food problem of that time, and Life magazine put him on his cover, and he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. So this is the wheat crop now, which is very short, and which you can see that the seed heads are very, very big. And Norman Borlaug has been revered as the father of the Green Revolution. However, what we have produced now with all these experiments is no longer the original wheat. It is completely Frankenstein wheat, completely genetically modified wheat. So what does it do? So it is an opiate. It goes and stimulates the opium receptors in the brain, which stimulates your appetite and stimulates you to eat more. So Mark Dhamma in fact says that I am seriously shocked to hear that a large amount of entrepreneurs will still eat this stuff. This is sapping your energy, making you tired, triggers depression, destroys focus, and increases your risk of brain diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Apart from that, the gluten in the wheat goes and makes your intestine permeable. It breaks apart the junctions between the intestinal cells and makes the intestine leaky. Because of that, a lot of foreign substances, including proteins, viruses, and other stuff, go into the bloodstream, thus triggering an immune response from your immune system. So constant percolating of all these foreign substances produces lot of problems, and most of the common are the autoimmune problems. And obviously other problems are also there, like nutrient malabsorption, food intolerance, and so on. Then another finding which we found was this advanced glycation end products. Have you ever seen burnt toast? It is very stiff and mostly it is not usable. So when you have an excess amount of sugar in the system, the sugar goes and binds to proteins and produces advanced glycation end products. So these proteins are then no longer usable in the body, they are deformed and they produce a lot of problems. For example, wrinkling of the skin. It is seen that aging skin has a lot of AGEs below it and that is why it is pulled in all different directions and causing all the wrinkles. But not only skin, here we see how you can take healthy skin and feed it with a lot of sugar and you will have wrinkled skin, aged skin. So not only the skin, but these AGEs create havoc all over the body. But the most important places where it can have a problem is heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, and so on. So AGEs need to be tackled, and that is what we do in the course. So why is it difficult to change? Let's look at that. So nature has programmed us with three kind of motivations. This is programmed. What are those? One is to seek pleasure. That means do what feels good. So that means you eat food so that you can survive in the wild, and have sex so that you can have babies which will then procreate your species. The other thing was to avoid pain. Pain means that you are making a mistake, you should stop. Therefore, if you are to eat a poisonous substance, it was usually very bad tasting, and then the prehistoric man used to throw it away and not continue to eat that. And third was to conserve energy, because it was necessary to conserve energy for survival. So always the least amount of effort necessary to survive. That was what we have been programmed with. So all these three things are the ones which were there in us since the beginning of mankind. So initially man was a hunter-gatherer, but then subsequently he started to settle down, have agriculture, and so on. And then animal husbandry started, where man used to start to keep animals for their milk and their meat. But along with that, diseases like smallpox, influenza, tuberculosis, measles, cholera, they all started from domesticated animals and adapted to infect human societies. So these were the infectious diseases which were the initial problem, but then a new class of disease started to appear. Food started to appear in plenty with agriculture. 20 times the population growth was seen. Societies developed, professions developed, wealth appeared in the society, and the elite people, the wealthy people, could eat caloric dense foods like oils, refined sugar, and so on. These led to a new set of diseases including heart attacks, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, arthritis, gout, and cancer. So we say that these were the diseases of the kings. But remember, now everybody can live like a king. Everybody can eat what the king used to eat. Just go to the supermarket. So everybody now has these diseases of the kings. What can we do about them? That is what we have to discuss, and that is what we address in the program. So you have heard about Newton's law of gravitation, no doubt. But there is another law, which is the law of satiation. So law of satiation tells us that when there is enough abundance, animals will consume the correct amount of food needed for their optimal function. You watch the birds. Have you seen a bird which is underfed and too weak to fly? Have you seen one which is obese and too heavy to fly? So the birds can do it right, but we have trouble watching our calories. We have to consult dietitians and doctors. Trillions of other creatures all over the world are consuming the accurate calories effortlessly. Take for example a chimpanzee. A chimpanzee consumes 2000 calories daily. So he eats 5 pounds of food daily. So in 50 years he will eat 100,000 pounds of food. Now if he took only 99% of what he required, each day he will have 20 calories short. So a total of 1000 pounds less food he will eat. So he will be short of 400,000 calories over his lifetime. So these will be compensated by burning his own tissues for fuel, and that would be 100 pounds of body weight. So if he burned 100 pounds of body weight, he won't survive, no? Similarly, taking 1% more would mean 100 pounds overweight, and that would also be very catastrophic for the chimpanzee. So we have not seen usually any chimpanzee which is totally underweight or completely overweight. So humans are seeing to be defying the law of satiation. So what is the solution? So we need not push away from the table. It is not the amount of food that you eat, but the type of food that you eat. We need to change that. And any amount of exercise you do will not correct the situation. Let me assure you, exercise does not cause lasting weight loss. Psychology is important, why we eat, what we eat. So we address the issue of psychology very thoroughly in the course. Then we also look at toxins. We are inundated with number of toxins from all sources. So we see to it that these toxins are eliminated from our bodies during the duration of the course. These toxins are usually stored in fat cells and they cause inflammation and autoimmune problems, cancer, and they need to be released. So Oliver Wendell Holmes said that a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. So the experience word here is very important. We just don't need to learn by reading a book, but you have to learn by doing and learn by experience. And that is how this course has been designed. So what do we do in this course? We have weekly coaching calls of 1 hour, usually on the weekend. So there is more than 14 hours of coaching. Then we make small incremental changes induced in the eating habits every week. And all of the 5 to 10 people in the batch will go through the same change. There is constant support through a WhatsApp group. There is focus on learning and practicing one-on-one. So these are some of the reviews of the program by people who have completed the program. This was a chartered accountant and he met a lot of new people during the program. He learnt a lot from everyone. I sincerely request you to pause the video and read through this. But he lost 12 pounds. He resolved his acidity problems. Sleep schedule and energy level improved. Eating healthy has become a new normal and discipline has come into his lifestyle. I once would again like to thank you for this outstanding opportunity, and he recommends this to all other participants. This was a public administrator and he started off at 105 kilos with high blood pressure and diabetes. And the best thing about this program is that you go slowly and adopt good food habits with full knowledge of why you are doing so. Today, after completing the course, I do not need any blood pressure medicine, diabetes medicine come down completely. Right now, my weight is 85 kg and my journey towards healthy beingness is started and is continuing. This was a software professional, again in a very dire state, had 2 deadly diseases, aplastic anemia and lung fibrosis. But by changing his diet, we were able to cure him of both the problems very soon, very fast. And he is completely cured and he is very fit now. So 100 days from now, if you do the program, what will happen? You will be in complete control of your food choices. You will be amazed as your shape, skin, muscle tone, energy changes for the better permanently. Your body will thank you, your family will thank you, and you will feel even more alive than you ever did. So, what is the time investment? Nowadays, everybody talks about investments. So, your average lifespan is 4,000 weeks. So, this was a book which was published on this topic. So, we need just 14 weeks of change. That is the total upfront investment that you have to do. That is 0.3% of your life. And that has the potential to change your entire remaining life. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. So the subjects that we'll be covering are the following: why we feel the urge to eat, what is the role of psychology in eating the wrong foods. We have a detailed look at good versus bad carbohydrates. We look at the law of satiation and how can we fix this. How do we handle social situations where there is pressure to eat the wrong food? How to shed weight effortlessly without dieting, without exercise. How to reverse obesity, diabetes, heart disease and autoimmune diseases by addressing the root causes. How to modify our gut microbiome from unhealthy to healthy. How to increase your brain focus and function by eating the right foods. And then achieving top quality sleep so that you can get by with less hours of sleep. How to reverse your signs of aging. Learn the benefits of consuming healthy oil and fat. And then all through the program you can see your body composition changing as the course goes on, and much more. The important part of the program I need to highlight is that throughout this program you can eat all you want. The quantity of food is not restricted at any time. So now do not join this program. Don't do this if you're just curious to know about another piece of information. If you're not serious about change, then don't do it. Or if you're happy to live as you are and keep on gulping pills for a number of diseases, you are too lazy to do the necessary work, then don't do it. And if you want to follow all the crowd what is doing, then just do what you are doing now. Or maybe on a lighter note, if you have invested in a large health insurance plan and would hate to see all the premium that you paid go to waste and rather have kidney failure or cancer, then obviously you don't need to improve. So this program is completely voluntary, out of your own will and your desire to improve your life. If you want to come forward, then you should join, because it is obviously teamwork. There will be a small group of people who will be as motivated as you to change for the better. So with that, we invite you, if you're interested, to join us. These are our contact details, and you can get on the wait list for the next batch of participants. Thank you. Wish you all the best.